Hey guys, the Bot Builder back for another episode of the Account Mayhem 2020. Yes, well, we've already done our first 5 heats and we already have 5 robots in the grand final with only 3 places left for grabs. And already in the grand final are Hexbug Heroes and third seed Subatomic version 3, Harry to Bob, King Ramses II, Nicholas Matthews, Burt for the win, the 5th seed and Robobotic Scrapper, and last heat we saw a surprise as we saw the reigning champions of the Account Mayhem, Intergalactic, be eliminated after EC3 clamped them and sent them down the pit. Robot Combat Models Spinnikiller EC3 will join the roster in the finals. But this heat tonight is bound to be a very open heat as well. We do see the return of the 6th seeds Vertigo. They competed in the last Account Mayhem with Silver Sterling, but they got a brand new machine and they ditched the front hinge flipper and gone for a big rear hinge one. But not only that, we also have many big spinners, flippers, crushers, and even a massive wedge. This heat truly is all to play for. So let's get things started with our first fight of the night. Representing J33 Productions and seeded number 6, Vertigo. Oh yeah, J33 Productions are back, but unlike other seeded machines where they've gone back and updated their robots, he has completely rebuilt his and completely ditched Silver Sterling for Vertigo. Yeah, it's completely different. The only difference is that it's wedge shaped, but that's where the similarities end. It's got a big flipper right here with blue stripes and red stripes as well. It's a very strong flipper as well, and they're a pretty cool machine, so watch out for Vertigo, as I can see this robot doing quite well. Representing Gene Woodford, Afterburn. And here is Gene Woodford's robot, Afterburn, armed with a very powerful front spinner, as you can see here, hoping to cause a lot of damage and shred into many robots. It even has a rear flipper at the back. It's got a very nice flame aesthetic. It can run both ways up. A pretty good machine. Watch out for this one, as I can see this robot being a dark horse. And in the Core Patrol Zone for the CPZs, where we started last heat with, so we ended last heat with them, so we're going to start this heat with them. It's Growler and Matilda. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. No. Activate. Oh, should be a good battle. This should be between a big flipper and a big spinner that has, well, a little flipper at the back, really. Kind of like Warrior Clan, really. And, oh, Vertigo coming with a good flip right down onto Afterburn, flipping them up and over. Now Vertigo, I would say, are probably the favourites for the heat. They are seeded. They do have experience with Silver Sterling, but as I said, Vertigo are a completely brand new machine. But it is a good-looking machine. We have to give credit for them for that. Coming with a huge flip right down onto Afterburn. Now, Afterburn do have that very good-looking, powerful spinner as well, and they are hoping to try and shred into Vertigo. Now, we've seen many seeded machines drop out thus far. The only 2 seeded robots in the final so far are Subatomic and Scrapper. So will Vertigo join them, or will they, well, lose out just like many other seeds before them? I mean, we've seen so many good seeded machines go out, including the grand finalists of the last Account Mayhems in Metal 3 and Intergalactic. But Vertigo seem determined to not want to crash out here, and they're already putting up a very good performance here. That was a huge flip they got onto Afterburn just then. Afterburn, they are a very good machine, but Vertigo are just, well, throwing them all over the arena, it seems. But they are struggling to finish them off. Although Matilda coming in with a good flip, flipping Afterburn up and over. Vertigo flipping them up and over, using their front flipper, and now Afterburn coming in with their rear flipper just then. Now that was interesting. That flipper has some power in it, I have to admit. And Afterburn are now revving up their spinning blade once again, and are now trying to slice into Vertigo. And Vertigo seems to be in lots of trouble right here in a minute. And Afterburn seems to be coming back very strongly here. Oh, but Vertigo now getting in underneath Afterburn once again. Afterburn still upended, but they are still retaliating back with their spinner, and there we go, self-righting. And Afterburn seems to be coming back very strongly here in the later parts of the battle. But Vertigo still coming in with a good strong flip right there and onto Afterburn. It was really that one flip that really did it. It sort of threw their it sort of threw their streak out of it, really. And now Afterburn still trying to shred into the flipper, maybe cause some more damage to Vertigo. And Vertigo coming with another good flip right there. And Afterburn seems to be stuck with Matilda, which is not the best place you really want to be, lads. Oh, and now being flipped onto Matilda's tusk once again. Vertigo have certainly proven to be very impressive, but so has Afterburn. Afterburn have been very impressive with their spinner, and I feel that this fight is indeed going to go to the judges, and it's going to be very close to see who they'll decide wins this. Cease. So it goes to the judges, and you know the criteria they're marking on. So we'll get back to them once the judges have made their decision. The judges at Arena side have called in a split 2-1 decision for the 6th seed representing J33 Productions, Vertigo. Yes, Vertigo, they get the victory. The judges just felt that Vertigo were just the more aggressive and the more controlled. But well done to Afterburn, they did put up a good fight, and that was a good fight. Very back and forth, but the judges feel that Vertigo deserved the win. Representing Dragon Robotics, Serpent. Right, here is Dragon Robotics' robot, Serpent. Very Spectre-esque this robot is. They've got a good crusher right here, with a nice devilish red eye. And they do these 4 low wedges at the front, very low to the ground. It can even self-right. And well, for Pit in the Arena combined with a good crusher, this robot could do well. I mean, Spectre have done well in my series in the past, so we'll see Serpent live up to Spectre's success. Representing Harry Stormer, Dantomkia. And here is probably one of the most memed robots of all time, Dantomkia. Mostly memed due to the announcer in Series 6 calling it Dantomkia by accident. Yeah, that joke is a bit unfunny now. It's kind of been run into the ground. Tusami jokes for life. Anyway, memes aside, Dantomkia are a very good machine with very tough armor, a very strong flipper, and they are veterans of Robot Wars Omega. They've done well in the past, coming 3rd place in the pilot episode and being a Heat finalist in Series 1. So, but can they go further than a Heat final in... But can they go further than a Heat final in the account Mayhem and win the Heat? Well, let's find out. And in the core patrol zone for the CPZ, well, we welcome the return of Rhino. And, well, he didn't do too much in the last fight. So we've put Growler back in here as well. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. No. Activate. Oh, should be an interesting fight this should be as well. Serpent are very similar to Spectre in many ways. And, well, they've already gotten a good clamp onto Dantomkia. And, well, Dantomkia, they have fought Spectre in Maximum Overdrive, the first battle of the All-Stars that was, and they lost. So, will they lose to Serpent? Well, they've already come in with a good flip right there. In onto Serpent, flipping him up and over. Those wedgelets are very low to the ground, though, and could, well, take good control of Dantomkia. Well, they've already got another good clamp right here, and Dantomkia trying to flip them away. Trying to use the crusher to maybe flip them away. Dantomkia, though, are in trouble. For a second, I thought they were stuck on their backs just then. That could have been disastrous for them. Harry Stormer, I think, has made a good choice in Dantomkia, but I think Serpent are a good machine for dealing with them to get in at the high ground clearance of Dantomkia's sides. And, well, Dantomkia, though, comes with a good flip right there. Flipping Serpent up and over, but Serpent do self-right. And are bringing down the crushing arm once again, and are pushing them into Growler. And this is good driving by Serpent to push Growler into the CPZ, and now they're in a bit of a weird rock and a hard place between Growler and Serpent. Oh god, Rhino's going to join in too, isn't he? Yes, Rhino joins in as well, and oh, Dantomkia trying to come with a good flip onto Growler, but Growler does a barrel roll, and Dantomkia now flipping Growler up once again, and I think Dantomkia are more concerned at dealing with Growler, and they do so. And now they're going to try and come with a good flip right here onto Serpent, flipping him up and over. Although Rhino are angry about them dealing with their friends, and now he's going after both of them. Oh dear. And Rhino lifting Dantomkia up. Well, Dantomkia being a bit cheeky, going after Growler like that. And then Sea Serpent getting flipped up and over though. Sea Serpent maybe got a bit distracted by Dantomkia going after the house bolt. But they do still continue to bring down the arm. And are biting down in onto Dantomkia. And honestly, with a pit open, a good enough grab could be what it needs to take to beat Dantomkia. And Dantomkia are getting very close to the pit. And I think Sea Serpent are going to push him in. Yes, they do. Dantomkia down the pit of oblivion. And Sea Serpent swim into the Heat semi-finals. Cease. Well, that was a very good controlled display by Sea Serpent. Dantomkia, they did show off their might turning Growler up and over, but, well, they couldn't quite do that to Sea Serpent. They couldn't quite flip them out of the arena, and that cost them in the end as Sea Serpent got them with the grabber and sent them down the pit. I guess Dantomkia just aren't good against fighting Crushers, it seems. Representing Theo Hummel, Molten Core. Alright, so here's Theo Hummel's machine, Molten Core. A very destructive body spinner this robot is. Has a lot of speed and push, has a lot of speed and power behind the spinner. Obviously based on Theo Hummel's RC Molten Core. It's nice and orange, nice and fiery, and it is very destructive. However, they can't self-right, and that could prove costly. Representing Brandman, The End. Alright, and here is The End representing Brandman. I mean, they're basically just a huge wedge. They're very steep, very low to the ground. They have tons of speed in those two wheels. And, well, I'm not really too sure how well it will do. And to be honest, neither does he. He just wanted to enter a big wedge to see how well it does as a scientific experiment. Well, some experiments do go wrong. I'm warning you, Brandman. And in the core patrol zone for the CPZs, you know what's awesome? Dinosaurs. Do you know what else is awesome? Technology. So let's combine them both with Matilda and Virus. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. No. Activate. Now, I'm going to be very intrigued as to how The End will do here. It can either do very well or very badly, but they've already got in a good wedge attack right there and onto Molten Core, slamming them into the arena wall. Now, Molten Core, they don't have a Shremek. They do have a very powerful spinner, but a Shremek is something that they don't have. So, if The End can knock them up and over, that could be it. But Virus coming in with a good grapple right there in onto Molten Core. And Molten Core, the very fiery spinner. It is a very fiery robot. But The End certainly using the wedge to good effects to try and, well, slam them, it seems. They are very wedge heavy, and they are just pushing Molten Core about, it seems, at the minute. But Molten Core coming with a good hit right there and onto Virus for some reason. And now, oh, that was a massive hit right there. Sending The End up and over, but The End self-righting using its fast and powerful two-wheel drive. That's what it has. It's fast, has a lot of torque, has a good wedge, but Molten Core has a very destructive spinner, and I think that it just needs to get in a few good enough hits to finish The End off, hitting Matilda though. That is not wise. That is not wise, Molten Core. But now, Molten Core seems to be coming back into this, coming in some more good hits onto The End, and again The End trying to come with their front pushing plow in onto Molten Core. Molten Core popping and bouncing about. This is a surprisingly very good battle. I thought this would be a massacre for The End, but Molten Core have seemingly are shredding The End up even more, and they've fallen on their face. Oh, that will be such a shame if that's done for them, because they were doing so well, but Molten Core revving up the spinner and coming in for more attacks. And I think The End, well, it is the end of The End, isn't it? And now here comes Matilda revving up her rear spinning flywheel to shred into the back of The End. The End, they're on the floor flipper. Oh, didn't fly too far. They did try to go for a bit longer, but they've landed back on their face. And I think Matilda is going to finish The End off. Out you go. And Molten Core are left the winners. Cease. Well, that was a surprisingly really good battle, I think. The end did come with lots of really good pushes, but that wasn't enough to take down Molten Core, who eventually got them with the spinner and smacked them clean on their face, knocking them out. The end, though, they will get a second chance in the losers melee, so it's not quite the end yet for them. And here is that losers melee I was talking about, between Afterburn, Dantomkia, and the end. All robots were beaten, well, to be honest, quite convincingly, I have to say. But as I said, every robot deserves a second chance, and these robots are getting a second chance in the losers melee. And what an interesting selection of robots we have here. So we have an invertible spinner, a powerful flipper, and a huge wedge. Oh, I can't wait for this. And neither Kuna are two house robots. Matilda and Rhino, they're waiting for this fight. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. No. Activate. Now, as usual, only one machine can go through from here. And to go into the heat semi-final to join Vertigo, Serpent, and Molten Core in the next round. And Dantomkia are immediately being pushed by the end. Now, I have to say, I'm impressed with the end. I thought they wouldn't do that greatly, but they've actually done pretty well for themselves. Quite unlucky to lose out to Molten Core, I have to admit, as their wedge is very powerful. And Dantomkia now trying to deal with Afterburn. Look at Afterburn. One of their weights of their spinners came out. How on earth did that happen there then? I guess Dantomkia, they are a very tough machine, good at deflecting against spinners. I guess they were just too tough for Afterburn, and one of their weights has came out. Well, fortunately for them, they do have a second weapon, which is a rear flipper. And look at the power just then. And Dantomkia, oh, for a second I thought they landed on one of Afterburn's weights just then. The end is seemingly staying out of here, but now coming with a good ram right there! Until that moment, surely, where they got flipped clean out the arena. So that just leaves Dantomkia and Afterburn, the two flippers. Well, Afterburn used to be a spinner, but their spinner has suffered a lot of damage. Gene Woodford's machine. Shame to see the ends go out. They were great fun. Great idea as well. I think if you upgrade it, it could be a potential contender. But Afterburn flipping Dantomkia up and over. Dantomkia trying to come with a good flip right there, and also Afterburn. Afterburn pushing Dantomkia back though, and they're still coming in with that rear flipper. Dantomkia are struggling here, it seems. And Afterburn are being very impressive, but Dantomkia coming back with another good flip, and again. And Afterburn, I would say that Dantomkia are winning on damage. Control, I'd say Afterburn. Aggression, I think it's kind of even on aggression thus far. Look at the spinner of Afterburn now, though. Afterburn, their spinner has just came out. Their spinner has just came out the machine, and Dantomkia has flipped Afterburn out the arena, and yeah, they flipped the way out as well. And Dantomkia, that was a good fighter, but despite a near scare, the spinner of Afterburn came out, and Dantomkia are the winners. Cease. Well, that was a very good losers melee, I have to admit. Afterburn, they did suffer damage, but that flipper proved to be very powerful, but it just wasn't powerful enough as Dantomkia flipped them out of the arena. And as for the end, well, they did come with some good rams, but Dantomkia got them with the flipper, and, well, as soon as that happened, it really was the end for them. Dantomkia, though, they go through to the heat semi-finals. Right, so we're now in our first heat semi-final, and this should be a pretty good fight, I reckon, as it's between the powerful flipper of Vertigo and the powerful flipper of Dantomkia, the 6 seeds taking on the Rope Wars Omega veterans. Now, this should be a good battle here as well. Dantomkia did get through a pretty tough losers melee, but they did get through it quite convincingly, and Vertigo had a very close, tough battle with Afterburn. So it hasn't been an easy road so far for either of these two machines, but it is certainly going to be a flipping fantastic fight. And talking about flipping fantastic, well, we have Matilda in the arena, and we got Rhino in there as well. I mean, they didn't do too much in the last fight, so why not? So, Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. No. No. 1. No. Activate. Jesus Christ, I hate Grammarly ads so much. I honestly, I'm a suppository of information. Yeah, just shut up. Just shut up. Anyway, enough about me ranting about Grammarly ads, because we have a battle to go to, and this should be a very good flipper fight. This should be between the 6 seeds, Vertigo, and the veterans, Dantomkia and Vertigo, coming with a good flip right there, and onto Dantomkia. Dantomkia representing Harry Stormer. As I said, I think it's a good choice, but honestly, they are fighting a tough flipper in Vertigo, and Dantomkia don't really do the best against other flippers. I mean, I think everyone knows that. I mean, we remember Rote Wars Series 8, don't we? Dantomkia, though, are getting flipped about by Vertigo. Vertigo are coming with another good flip onto Dantomkia. Dantomkia are currently struggling right here at the minute. Vertigo coming with another good, strong flip. And again, another one. And another one. I sound like a DJ Khaled right now. And Dantomkia are in a lot of trouble right here. And Vertigo trying to come through some more good flips. And now it's a huge flip. Dantomkia are just struggling here. They haven't gotten a single good flip yet in onto Vertigo. And they've been flipped up and over. And they're into Rhino's corner. And Rhino coming in with some good rams right there. Dantomkia seems to be in trouble. Vertigo coming in with a good flip right there and onto Rhino. He's not going to appreciate that. And he especially isn't going to appreciate Dantomkia being in his CPZ. And Vertigo trying to come for another good flip onto Dantomkia. And Dantomkia being flipped up and over. Vertigo getting in underneath still. And Dantomkia, they're really struggling to deal with them at the moment. And honestly, did they just self-fight out of the pit? Dantomkia, you do realise that APDs are not allowed in this arena. You're in the pit. Sure, okay, you self-fighted out of it. That's kind of cute, I suppose. But the rules say the pit's an instant elimination. You landed in the pit, so you lose. Good day, sir. And now you're on the drop zone. And oh boy, this isn't going to end well, is it? So what is going to drop? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? A USB stick? They weigh nothing! Come on. Come on, Troxel, you can do better. No, you can't, can you? Fine. Cease. Well, after probably the worst drop zone item of all time, Vertigo go through to the Heat Finals, and that was a pretty impressive performance by them. Dantomkia, I mean, you may be able to escape the pit, but you can't escape the house robots or other hazards. Yeah, you dirty little rule-breaking robot. Yeah, go back in the pit, just where you belong. But Vertigo, they go through to the Heat Finals. But who will our 6 seeds Vertigo meet in the Heat Finals? Well, it is going to be an interesting battle either way, no matter who they face, as they either take on the impressive crusher of Sea Serpent or the powerful body spinner of Molten Core. And overseeing this fight is our drunk house robot Virus and our good boy Growler. He's a good boy, isn't he? Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. No. Activate. Honestly, I'm going to be very interested to see how Sea Serpent are going to try and deal with Molten Core here, because Molten Core are a big body spinner. They have a lot of power in their weapon, so it should be interesting to see how they try and deal with Sea Serpent. Well, it should be interesting to see how Sea Serpent will deal with them, but judging by that, not well at all. One of their wedgelets is nearly coming off. And, well, Molten Core seems to be doing very well so far and causing some damage, but they cause some damage to themselves! And could that be what Sea Serpent needs to beat Molten Core? Molten Core has suffered lots of damage to itself, as you can see here. What on earth has happened to the shell? Both robots have suffered tons of damage already, but I'm not sure whose damage is worse. What, the wedgelet breaking on Sea Serpent or the spinner of Molten Core? We've already had dysfunctional spinners in the last hit, but they've knocked Sea Serpent up and over. And Sea Serpent self-right. Molten Core, look at it, it's all out of balance, but they can still spin finely, I suppose. Sea Serpent trying to come with their crusher to try and cause some more damage. And Molten Core, they're just out of balance and it's just not good. But I think one of the wedgelets of Sea Serpent have gone underneath the robots. And I think another part of their spinner's broken too. And they're very nearly close to going down the pit. I don't think they can spin it anymore. And Sea Serpent coming down with another good bite in onto Molten Core. This is a very surprising fight right here. Virus lifting them up. Virus, you too! Virus, are you serious? You as well? Oh, man, everyone seems to be breaking. What's Growler going to lose? Is he going to lose a wheel or something? Well, either way, Sea Serpent are still bringing down the crushing weapon in onto Molten Core. Molten Core now, the wedgelet of Sea Serpent have been completely ruined now, surely, but they are still bringing down that crusher, and they're still putting up a very good, and both robots are still putting up a very good fight, but Growler slamming Molten Core into the arena sidewall. I have no idea what on earth's happened to them here. That has never happened before. Well, it happened on camera. And honestly, Sea Serpent seems to be the robot on top now, pushing them into the arena wall. Virus going into the wall of shame, probably to cry, and, well, actually it can't drown its sorrows because it's got no head. It's lost its head. Now, what other way is there to put it? He's literally lost his head. And Sea Serpent bringing down the crushing arm onto Molten Core once again. Cease. And it does go to the judges, and honestly, it's going to be very interesting to see how they'll judge this one. Both robots have took quite a fair bit of damage, but only one can go through. The judges at arena side have called in a 3-0 decision for Dragon Robotics Sea Serpent. Yes, well done to Sea Serpent. They march on to the next round. Despite all the damage they took, it was still a good victory for them. They still just showed good control, and the judges felt Molten Core took more damage. Such a shame to see Molten Core go out. Such a powerful spinner, but I guess something just malfunctioned, and Sea Serpent took advantage. So we now come up to the heat final, and well, it should be a very interesting fight as we have two very different machines. We have a crusher and a flipper in Vertigo and Sea Serpent. Now, J33 Productions robot Vertigo hasn't had the easiest time, but they did have a very good battle with Afterburn in the first fight before taking down Dantomkia in the heat semi-finals, flipping them into the pit despite Dantomkia's attempt to escape. Whereas Sea Serpent, on the other hand, had a very close fight with Molten Core. Both robots took damage, but the judges felt that Sea Serpent deserved to get the victory, and rightfully so. As well as beating Dantomkia in the first round. But how will they do against another flipper here in Vertigo, a robot that's low to the ground? Well, one machine who's low to the ground is Rhino, and he's accompanied by a dog, Growler. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. No. Activate. Oh, this should be a good heat final, I think, between a very good low to the ground crusher and a low to the ground flipper. And Sea Serpent have already came in with a good little clamp right there and onto Vertigo. And are they going to try and crumple down? Well, they do! They do crumple down! And they have crumpled down onto Vertigo, leaving a nice hole and leaving the top, well, crumpled really, let's just be real here. They're trying to cause some more damage to Vertigo, and Vertigo are suffering tons of damage. Look at this! Their top has been completely crumpled! Look at Vertigo! This is not good for them! They've been completely crumpled by the crusher of Sea Serpent, and Sea Serpent lifting Vertigo up, and we finally get to see that crusher, well, penetrate another robot, And Vertigo, there's nothing they could really do. The Sea Serpent could potentially well win this heat, you know, and that would be a surprise, wouldn't it? Especially with both Dantomkia and Vertigo as the heat favourites. But Sea Serpent have brought down the Crusher and have completely crumpled Vertigo, and I don't think Vertigo are going to be moving for much longer now. Oh, look at the state of it. Look at just the sheer state of Vertigo. They've been completely bent, buckled, and crumpled by the sheer mighty Crusher that is Sea Serpent. Yeah, I think you might want to bring Silver Sterling back out of retirement, J33 Productions. Oh, this is a brutal way to go. This is a brutal way to go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Vertigo absolutely crumpled before being put out of its misery down the pit of oblivion. Cease. Oh, that was just gruesome to watch. Look at Vertigo. Just look at it. It's been absolutely crumpled and mangled by the Crusher. I'm going to need to fix that. But Sea Serpent do win the heat. And, well, it certainly was an interesting heat. I do apologise for the lighting. The sun just decided to be a dickhead today and just shine really brightly. And as you know, I am poor and I don't have equipment for it. But I still wanted to record just one more episode today. And Sea Serpent did come out on top. Hopefully it shouldn't affect it too much. But yeah, well done to Sea Serpent. Causing an upset, really. I thought Vertigo were going to win. They were probably one of the favourites for the heat, being seeded and all. But Sea Serpent, well, I would admit I did underestimate them. And they certainly did impress, crushing Vertigo to win the heat. And, well, we will see you again next time for our penultimate heat, which sees the return of the unlucky, but they're still fan favourites nonetheless, Crikey. So we'll see you then, and until then, the Bot Builder, out.